Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have a text, and as for the text, we uh, have one of the direction. So the direction for question is, there is a passage below which is accompanied by a set of question. We need to choose the best answer to each question. Well, uh, here there is the text, and the text gives us the information about West. Uh, and West is precisely what deserves the distinction between nature and culture. So, I have already given you the main idea of the text, and also believe that you have gone through the text and have got some idea out of it. Uh, the main ideas which are provided here is nothing but a West age and how that means polluting to the culture. So, on the basis of that, means the whole text is pointed. Now, look at the question. So, the question here it is given, which is called as which of the following is a flaw in the author's argument. So it is a flaw-based question. So when we talk about flaw-based question, it is indicated about fallacy. Flaw means fallacy, or you can say that error, right? Now the question is trying to make us idea that which of the following in the given option can create the flaw in the author's argument, right? So when we talk about author's argument, so what do we understand the author's argument? The author's argument can be called as a yeah. The, the author's argument is pointed about what? Uh, the author's argument is that West is a fundamental aspect. West is a fundamental aspect. Fundamental, fundamental aspect fundamental aspect of the current era current era current era uh, blurring the lines between nature and culture. The author uh, indicates about or advocates for recognizing the West Age as an opportunity for a profound shift towards sustainable practices sustainable practices practices and a cleaner future cleaner future cleaner future, isn't it? Future. The text challenges the marginalization of West as an externality and calls for it to be brought into the center of societal conversation about extraction, design, and disposal. Well, so that is what the argument we can find out from the text. Now, let's look at the uh, question. What does the question's options are pointed here? The first option said, the author suggests that a radical shift in society can occur simply by recognizing the scale of the crisis. Now, if I look at the first option, right, which is indicating the author suggests what? A radical shift in society can occur simply by understanding the scale of crisis. Now, this could be known as a flaw to the author's argument. Why? Because it is clearly stated, means a complete shift in society, right? So when we talk about means a radical shift in society can occur simply by recognizing the scale of crisis, which is nothing but called as a overly simplistic or overly optimistic, isn't it? Overly optimistic. So overly optimistic and simplistic, isn't it? Overly optimistic and simplistic. That can create the flaw in the author's argument, as far as the argument which I pointed. Now look at the option two. The option two said the author introduces the concept of the Anthropocene but fails to explain its relevance. The author introduces the concept of the Anthropocene to emphasize what? Emphasize the impact of human activity, isn't it? Activity, human activity on the environment, human activity on the environment. So, which is relevant to the argument? The author doesn't fail to explain its relevance, right? Rather, it helps strengthen their argument. So, in that case, option 2 cannot fail it. Rather, it means, strengthen, isn't it? So therefore, option 2 is eliminated. Option 3 stated the author uses the term vestige without defining it clearly. Well, if I talk about option 3, well, the term vestige is introduced. Its definition is not a primary flaw, right? So its definition is not a primary flaw in the argument. So therefore, we cannot consider that this would be the means this would create any flaw in the author's argument. So look at the option 4. Option 4 said the author assumes that the vestige is a recent development. Now the author doesn't assume that the vestige is a recent development, but rather emphasizes what? Its current significance or importance. Its correct significance or importance, isn't it? So therefore, we consider option 2, 3, 4 cannot be means a created flaw in the author's argument, except one, which is clearly stating about radical shift in society occur simply by recognizing the scale of the crisis. So therefore, the answer of this question would be option 1, right? Hope you understood. That's all.